Hi everyone, I'm Elise and this is Anna, and we're the ones who have been planning the upcoming Taste of Portland event on October 18th. Thank you so much for supporting us by being a sponsor and bringing some of your loved ones to the event for the evening.
Now, we know that the way we're doing our event this year is a little bit different than a lot of folks who have attended our events in the past. And so that's why we're excited to do this video, to just clarify any questions that folks have and give you the confidence as you go into the evening. And so we're excited, and we think it's going to be our most fun event yet.
So by the end of this video, if you still have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We want you to feel fully equipped and excited to lead your guests through the evening. And so if there's any further ways that we can help you do that, please don't hesitate to let us know.
And with that, we're going to hop right into our content for today. And we've got a slideshow we're going to share with you. So just to go over the main information for you all again, the very basics. So the venue is going to be at Beaverton Christian Church out in Beaverton. For all the West Side folks, that's going to be exciting. We've had it in Westland for the past several years, but it's going to be Beaverton this year. The schedule will be from 7 to 9 p.m. and from 7 to 8, we're going to be enjoying mingling in the very large lobby at Beaverton Christian, where we'll have our appetizers, we'll have our live music, and we'll have the museum-style exhibits that will be demonstrating the work that we get to do at Compassion Connect, showing people ways that they can get involved, as well as giving opportunities. And there will also be some special presentations sprinkled into that hour of guests and volunteers just sharing their story on kind of a mini level at some of the different exhibits. And then around 7:45, we're going to ask for our hosts to start shepherding their guests into the sanctuary and getting everyone in there by 8 o'clock, and at which time we'll start our actual program. And we'll have an MC. We'll have our executive director, Mylan, do kind of a vision casting session, and then there will be an ask at the end of the program. And we've had some questions about attire. It's not a super formal event. It's not an evening gown or tuxedo type event, but it's also not extremely weekend casual either. So we're describing it as business casual. Dietary restrictions, so where we're departing from tradition with this event is that it will not be a sit-down dinner. It will be appetizer style with many different booths in the lobby where people can choose what they'd like to eat. And there will be a variety, and we're trying hard to provide some options that meet different dietary restrictions, such as gluten-free, dairy-free, etc., and those will be labeled. One thing we wanted to mention is that your tickets that you received in your packets, your host packets, they aren't actually mandatory to get your guests into the event. They are kind of just another fun, inviting tool for you. So your guests don't need to be stressed out if they don't have their ticket with them when they get there. We'll have the list of names, and so they will not be denied entry if they don't have that ticket. But it's just kind of another fun memento and thing for you to use in your guest inviting process. And then another kind of big feature of this year's event is the passport, which is basically our agenda for the evening. It will have a list of all of the exhibits. It will have the list of the food options, our sponsors. So many different things will be in this passport, but essentially the fun part of it is that guests will be able to go around to the different exhibits and get a stamp, and if a guest collects all of the different stamps and presents their passport to us and shows us that they've done it, they will be entered into a raffle for a cruise for 2 aboard the Portland Spirit Cruise Line. So that's kind of a fun way to both organize and show folks what's in the room. There will be a map in that passport, but also kind of incentivize them to go around and see everything that there is to see, because there will be a lot to see. Another thing we wanted to share is that we are doing something a little different this year with introducing a text to give feature. So what this basically means is that at several of the booths, there will be some sort of display that creatively talks about different amounts of giving and what they can do. So for instance, $75 can help support a girl at a design studio, and to be part of having mentors and help her learn warning signs of trafficking, things like that. Or $32 can help sponsor a guest at a compassion clinic. And then there will be a phone number underneath that where if a person is feeling inspired, they can actually text that number right then and there. And that number will take them to our giving site online, and they can just give right then and there. And that will be something that they can do both in that mingling time during the time they're looking at the exhibits, and it will also be an option once we go into the sanctuary. And there will also be the traditional methods of giving as well for those who aren't comfortable doing the text to give feature or online feature. So there will also be physical giving envelopes as well. But this text to give option is kind of a new fun thing we're trying out this year. So the overall goal for the evening and why we've kind of chosen this theme, this taste of Portland, love our city, enjoy our city, is that there's so much that all of our cities, even beyond Portland, have to offer that we can enjoy, all of the quirky different things that make our cities what they are. But we also want to emphasize the loving our city part, that everyone has a role to play in making a difference, in transforming their cities through the love of Jesus and getting outside the four walls of the church and serving. And so that's something we really want people to come away with, is feeling that they know they have a role to play in city transformation. So for us visual folks, I know it helps to have an idea in your mind of what the space is going to look like. And so we're going to do a little virtual tour of what Beaverton Christian Church looks like. We also have this handy dandy little map here that was hand drawn, so please have grace with this, but this is kind of the general layout and setup we have for the evening. This is something please feel free to refer back to, but just to give you an idea of what's going to be in the room and where. And then we've got some photos that we can show you as well. So this is the entrance of Beaverton Christian Church. We've got the front doors on the right-hand side. And as people come in, they will go to the right where those two chairs are, and there will be a registration table there. They will get their passport, they will get a name tag, and then they will go further to the right where there's a little cafe area you can see in the left-hand side of the picture. And there will be some treats there, some different drinks people can grab on their way through there. And you can't see this in the picture, but as you keep going through that space, it opens up and there will be a coat check area where people can check their coats, and then they'll wrap back around. And so right kind of where that round table is with the 4 chairs, there will be a 16-foot tall replica of the St. John's Bridge, one of the arches, and that will be kind of the way that everyone gets funneled into the rest of the room to see what else is in there. This is another shot of the lobby. We've got, we're gonna have many different food options and things and places to sit. There will be just quite a few things going on in this area, but this kind of gives you a glimpse of, and the picture doesn't do it justice either. The room is really, really big, but this kind of gives you an idea of what it looks like. So as people come in, this is on the right-hand side where we'll have a compassion clinic exhibit. This is Beaverton Christian's like front desk area where we're transforming it into a medical dental office. So we'll have a dental chair and some instruments and some t-shirts from past clinics, and some giving options. One of our food options is Chick-fil-A. They'll be in this area. So this is definitely one place you will not want to miss. Then on the left-hand side of the room, this is where all of our anti-trafficking, adorned in grace work will be. All of the aspects of the work will be represented. So there will be on this wall here our work with the design studio, with mentoring girls who are vulnerable to trafficking. We'll have an area for our bridal shop with some fun dresses and props and things from the shop, as well as an area dedicated to our work with Dress for Freedom, which is an outreach event for girls in foster care. And then on the far left side of this picture, we'll also have a photo booth. And the photo booth is going to be awesome. It will have a Portland Airport carpet background. You'll be able to print out your pictures right there, as many as you want. So that's definitely going to be a feature you will not want to miss. Then this is kind of the central main area of the lobby. This is where we'll have a stage here with the musicians who will be playing during the event. And this will also be a display area that ties in all of the work that we do. For those who are seeing the compassion clinics, they're seeing Adorned in Grace, they're wondering, they might be new to the work, they're wondering, how does this all tie together? What is all of this? This is going to be an area where we have some displays that hopefully tie everything together with the fact that everything we do is for uniting the church to serve their neighbors. And we've got our stairs here leading up to the balcony, and there will be exhibits upstairs, and they are elevator accessible. There's 2 elevators in the building for those who aren't able to navigate the stairs. On the right-hand side of the stairs, we're actually transforming that into Pioneer Place. That's going to look a lot like Portland's living room with some fun, quirky decorations there. And then going up the stairs as well, right before you get up the stairs, there will be a Portland Airport section where people can grab a little baggie of pretzels and mocktails, and there'll be some decorations and pictures there as well. And a huge mural of Mount Hood on that far back wall there. But upstairs, we'll have an exhibit with our work in India, so internationally, as well as some of our work in Arizona and Tacoma. And there will be a food option up there as well. So we really encourage people to not feel daunted by the stairs and make sure you see what's up there as well. And here are just some of our food options. There will be more on the night of, but here are just some of the ones we've nailed down so far. We've got a local food cart that's going to bring Jamaican jerk chicken. We've got a caterer who's bringing grilled chicken bruschetta. Chick-fil-A is providing chicken nuggets. Another catering company is providing a whole bunch of different assorted charcuterie items. Mission Barbecue is bringing pork sliders, and we've got some really yummy sweet treats as well. Sesame donuts, Creole chocolate, Cloud City ice cream, and all these options are, for the most part, Portland local organizations and that we're excited to partner with for our Portland theme. And if you blow through all of the exhibits before 7:45, there's also going to be spaces we're intentionally creating where you can mingle, you can sit, you can hang out with your guests and talk and kind of process what you're seeing before the sanctuary doors open at 7:45.
So we know that with all of that, you're probably thinking, this sounds like a lot of fun, but what on earth is my role as a host? We totally respect that a lot of you have been to a lot of our banquets in the past, and so you're really familiar with that idea of gathering around a table. And so we just want to encourage you that you still have a huge role. You're still very important in the evening. And so the 3 main things that is kind of your job for the evening are included on this handy little sheet that's attached to the email. And that's to guide, inspire, and connect. So I'm going to shoot back to our PowerPoint and tell you a little bit more about what that looks like. So to guide, inspire, and connect is really about just how you can connect with your guests throughout the night. So we'll start with guide. We just walked you through the evening so that you already have an idea of what to expect. This already puts you at an advantage. You sort of know the layout of the room, you know the kind of don't miss items, and we want you to be able to take advantage of that with your guests. And so we'll also send you an electronic version of that passport that Anna mentioned to you the week before. So you can go ahead and skim through that, have an idea of what's there with the schedule of the evening. That way you are already at an advantage for your guests. We do want to encourage you to arrive early, preferably no later than 6:45 when the doors will kind of officially open. Maybe even as early as 6:30 would be helpful. And the reason we ask you to do that is we really want to say with confidence when your guest arrives at the registration table, oh yeah, you're a friend of Anna's, right? They're already inside. That'll really build some confidence in them, make them feel comfortable and warm and ready to go. So from there, you can kind of choose your approach. It's up to you how much of really a tour guide that you would like to be. The night doesn't really require an official tour guide, so you could just greet them and sort of let them go and maybe say, all right, meet me over at Pioneer Place at 7:45 to go in, and let them go on their way. Or depending on your guests and your kind of approach to that, you could physically walk them through the evening. There's plenty of different opportunities for them to see, and so you could kind of walk them through there. We're also giving you a few don't miss this items on another one of those sheets we attached. And so that is, if you look down here at the bottom, the reason why we're giving you those is because we want you to feel like, you know, if one of your guests maybe looks a little bored or says, oh yeah, that was cool, but maybe they kind of just look like they're looking for a little bit more, you can actually know in advance, hey, I know you saw the clinic area, but did you see that opportunity to win the Compassion Connect t-shirt? Or if they haven't been to the photo booth, you can take them to the photo booth. Or if they haven't taken a picture by the St. John's Bridge, there's plenty of opportunities and nobody should be bored at this evening. The other thing that's a huge important role of you as a host in this guiding role is that beginning at 7:45, we want you to actually gather your guests and bring them into the sanctuary area for the program. We will have an MC who's going to be announcing, hey everyone, it's time to go in, but we're going to ask them to not actually do that until just a few minutes before 8. That way you all as hosts has about 10 minutes to gather your guests to prevent bottlenecks, because that's another huge thing that we're relying on you to help us with, is if you see an area that has tons of people lined up, and you see some of your people in that area, maybe say, hey, that looks a lot of fun, but maybe we'll check out that later. Have you been upstairs, for example? That's a really huge item that you can help with. So the program will begin sharply at 8, and so rather than waiting for the announcement, we ask you that you go ahead and get them in. So we're really thankful to have you all guide your guests through the evening. The second part of your role is to inspire. Part of the reason we chose the Portland theme, like Anna mentioned, is because we want everyone to leave the night with an idea of how they can love and serve their own city through volunteering with one of our models, through financial support, or even just new eyes to see and love their city. You can help them get there, help them see themselves in this bigger picture. Also, like Anna mentioned, there will be a no pressure financial ask at the end of the evening, and you can really help us by priming your guests for generosity, just by mentioning it so that when the time comes, they're ready, they're not surprised. And then an easy way to inspire your guests is also just to share a story. Tell them why you support Compassion Connect, and that's really powerful for people. And then finally, connect. You likely know more people in the Compassion Connect family than your guests do, so you can take this opportunity to make some introductions. The advantage of this new format is that they aren't bound to talking to the people sitting at either side of them at the table. They really have time and space to talk to anyone and everyone. And so you have the power to make sure everyone feels included and engaged. You can also connect them to one of us, or if they have any questions, you can guide them to the photo booth. So we know that you'll help us by guiding, inspiring, and connecting, but we really want to give you some tools and tips to help you really do that well. And so I mentioned this kind of don't miss this. We're including this in the email. That way you can look at it ahead of time, because we really want you to be able to use that as a tool. The map that Anna showed you before is also attached to this email, because again, we want to give you as many tools as possible to make you feel confident in leading your guests. Some ways that you can use these tools, it's really up to you, but we would highly suggest kind of planning ahead of time before you get to the evening, sort of what your approach to this kind of guide aspect is. Maybe you actually want to go ahead and look at the program and say, hey, I know that at 7:25, there's a video that's going to be showing in the video area. I would love to invite all of my guests to be there. Since it's such a short time, we highly recommend that you kind of plan that ahead of time. So when you get your guests, you can go ahead and let them loose in the exhibits and say, meet me here, meet me there, and exactly when. And we think that that'll be really helpful for you, and that you're going to be an amazing host just guiding your guests through the evening.
So we're going to segue into some handy tips and tricks for inviting. your guests and RSVPing and tracking those RSVPs. So some of you have already had some people who have RSVP'd. Some of you are still looking for your guests. That's totally fine wherever you're at on that spectrum. So some of the tools that we sent out in the packets were the invitations, the tickets, and also electronic copies of those. And we can also include the electronic copies if you haven't received them yet to the email. And then also you received a little fridge magnet that has a list of names on it that you can use that to keep track of your guests. And we have a Google Sheet as well, and I'll get into that in a second. But some of just best practices for inviting. Personal invites are always the most well received, either by phone or in person. And like Elise was kind of mentioning earlier, it's very powerful to let people know why you personally care about the mission that we get to be part of together, and just sharing your passion and your story. And then just the importance of following up with folks, both those who have responded and those who haven't, just so that those who have responded know what to expect. They feel confident, and those who haven't responded, just to give them that little nudge to give you a yes or a no. And then just for thinking about who to invite, really the sky's the limit, whether that's connections from church or from school or from your place of work, family or personal connections. Really, we're just hoping that this night is really going to bless people, that they're going to come away feeling inspired and feeling generous and knowing that they truly can make a difference. So anyone in your life who you feel could be encouraged by that, we'd love to have them there. And then the Google Sheet that we've shared is just another handy way to track your guests who have RSVP'd. So there's instructions at the top there. We've also included the link to RSVP just for ease of accessibility there. And then below we've got our list of hosts by alphabetical order. So you'll just scroll down, find your name, and it's linked to a tab in the spreadsheet. So when you click on it, it will take you to your tab, and you'll be able to see who has RSVP'd so far. As these RSVPs are coming into us online, we are adding them to this spreadsheet, so it should be pretty much updated live very quickly, so you'll be able to see in real time who of your guests have RSVP'd. And if you would actually like to physically RSVP your guests yourself, that you know that they're going to come, then you can actually do that as well by going to the link at our compassionconnect.com/banquet2019.
All right, so we are going to just end by asking some frequently asked questions, hopefully answering those for you. And of course, by the end, if you still have questions to help you be the best host you could possibly be, we really hope you'll reach out to us. So Anna, what's a question you've heard?
How are people actually going to give during the program?
That is a great question. So we mentioned the text to give, but we know that not everyone's really comfortable with that option. So we'll still have those traditional giving envelopes. So as they come into the program part of the evening, which will be in the sanctuary, they'll be given these envelopes, and there'll be a designated time after Mylan kind of casts a vision and gives that ask, where they can have plenty of time to fill out those envelopes. If they want to give cash, a check, or even write their credit card information, that will be easy to do there. And you can be a helpful host by actually encouraging everyone as they leave the sanctuary. We'll have an option to collect those envelopes for those who didn't choose to text to give, and so you can make sure that your guests all give them to us.
Okay, another question for you. There's a lot to see at this event. Like,
it's true.
A lot, and potentially even in 45 minutes. So what if everyone doesn't have a chance to see everything before we have to go into the sanctuary?
Yeah, that is a definite risk. We know that it's a lot to see in a little bit of time. We really wanted to make sure that nobody would be bored, and so that will definitely not be the problem. And so we want to encourage everyone to see as much as possible during that first hour, especially to get their stamps. The only opportunity to get their passport stamped will be during that time. Now we have tried to make it as easy as possible by including multiple people at each station to give that stamp. That way they never have to worry about a line. But all that being said, if they get all of their stamps kind of run through quickly and don't really have a chance to fully enjoy the different options at the exhibits, they are able to then come back after the program. We'll have everything still set up. The food will be gone, but the photo booth will still be set up and all of the exhibits will be set up so they can take as much time as they'd like to enjoy those exhibits then.
Okay. Final question. What is Compassion Connect's goal to raise for the evening?
Ooh, that is a good one. So we have a big, bold goal this year of raising $100,000. And so we are really excited to see what God does. And through the generosity of you all and our other great sponsors, we've actually raised more than a quarter of that already. So we're going into the night primed and ready to go to reach that big, bold goal. And we're excited to see what God does.
Yes, we are. So we hope this has been helpful for you. If you still have lingering questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us as well. And just to conclude, we want to thank all of our amazing sponsors, both individuals who are sponsoring and hosting, but also to our corporate sponsors. So Northwest Technologies, who has been our presenting sponsor for the past many years. They are presenting sponsor again. And then we've got some really awesome corporate and church sponsors. Chick-fil-A, Uptown Mike, Surface Artists are some of our awesome church partners. Willamette Christian, Manna House, Clear Creek, so many, as well as some of our food options as well. So this is just a few of them. And we just want to thank you all so much for being part of this with us. We are really grateful and we're excited to see the evening together and enjoy it.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys at around 6:45 on Friday, October 18th.
Yeah.
All right, see you there. Bye. Thanks so much for watching.